Hey, good morning everybody. It's Larry at Heisenberg Forest Products this morning. I'm a little late on my garden video this week. I was out working in the wood yard and I looked at the time and it was 9 and it was getting dark, so I decided I'd wait till this morning to do it. Anyways, so let's start off from a different vantage point this morning. So we're starting from the pool area, so you can see flowers are beautiful. Look at this plant right here. This is a nice hostas. I'm not much into flowers, so I know what hostas are. Pool is covered. We keep the solar cover on. So let's start from this end. So right here we have Julienne's pepper plant. So it seems to be growing nicely. And then we have squash. Can't remember if it's butternut or spaghetti. I know we have two species in this little garden here. So I have a squash right here, squash over there, and they're right at the end. And I think these here are squash too. If I remember right, Louise planted them from seed. And right here we have our radishes. So they're ready to go. Actually, they're a nice size. So hopefully we'll start eating those. Julienne's tomatoes, so there's 3 tomatoes here. They grew a little bit, slowly coming along. And I don't know if I mentioned this, so we put citrus in our garden because the neighbor's cat is using this garden as his potty, so which is a bit of a pain for us. So this here is another squash. So I don't remember if last week Louise had the cages in, but we have the cages. She's got a bit of a plan to have them grow up, and then I think she might be putting something across those cages. Not sure. This here was a cantaloupe, and it just died. So I didn't spend much time in the gardens this week. Just too busy working in my woodlot. So my favorite flowers here, they're still in full bloom, which is great. And then over here, Louise has started some work here, so she's thinning some of these plants here. So again, this is very nice. We've been working in a wood yard this week, so processing wood. So right here, her flowers are nice. Over there, it's nice. It's nice and peaceful back here. The tent and our chickens too. So my neighbor's texting me this morning. So here's our patch of onions. They're growing. Hopefully I'll have to tell you the onion story from last year. I don't think I've told you that yet. Well, hang your onions like when so I hang my onions in my summer shed, but forget about them and get it. So probably December I go and check and they're all soft, and so I lost my whole crop of onions last year, so because I forgot them in the shed. The rhubarb looks great, and our plan is to go and strawberry pick tomorrow and do something with that rhubarb next week. So I haven't been in the greenhouse since last week, so let's have a look. So the spinach, it's funny, it doesn't look like spinach. This looks like a tomato. I'm pretty sure it's a tomato. 2 tomatoes actually. And these I'm not sure what they are. They could be spinach, those 2 plants. So it's been an interesting venture in the greenhouse. The basil is growing. Actually, there's another one that just grew here. See the small one, and the bigger ones are all growing. Tomatoes are done. They died. Oh, there's zucchini in here and 1 chive. So we're learning with the greenhouse. It gets a bit warm in here. So what I've done is I've put a little piece of wire so I can tie the door open, because when it's too warm outside it gets way too warm. So see, so I just put a little little tie to keep the door open so that it doesn't get too warm in here. So right now it's 30 and it's about, I think it's 10 o'clock, so it's going to get much warmer this afternoon. So yeah, so I started doing some work on that big pile of maple. So that's the work for the next few weeks for us. So I'm chipping away at that. I've got some wood to stack later on today. And let's get to the corn. So corn is growing nicely. It's about a foot at this point. I try to get in there and weed as I go. I do a little bit of weeding every day. Haven't had to water in the last few days because we got some rain, which is a lot better than town water. Here we have I think they're called baby cucumbers, or no, pickling cucumbers. So they're growing too. The natural water is so much better than watering with town water, right? So you can see the flowers are nice. Look at that. So those attract bees for some reason, or wasps, or whatever. So that helps in the pollination. So we didn't spend that much time in the garden this week. Well, me for sure. I know. I'm not sure if Louise spent more time. I know she ended up garden here, but it'll. I could tell that this natural rain is really helping out with growth, but it also helps the weeds grow. So even though Louise had weeded all of this garden a few days ago, it's starting up again. Beans are okay. There's a lot of blank spots, but here this one's getting pretty heavy because it's toppling over, so I'll have to start putting some pieces of wood to keep the cages up, So there's tomatoes on some of the plants, so hopefully we get a half decent crop because we can always use tomatoes. So I got disconnected here. I'm not sure why, because I'm not on wireless. But I talked to my buddy, and he said, "Oh no, that's not the issue. You have some ants." So I got rid of the ants. Hopefully I didn't kill the tree. I just dumped some vinegar on their mound, and they don't like vinegar, so they disappeared. So hopefully, like the leaves are not dry, so it doesn't look like it's dead yet. So we'll see. Okay, we'll keep an eye on this maple tree, see if it remains alive. But it's been so dry that some of those smaller trees are struggling, right? So, and this guy here, one of my smaller ones here, ended up turning red. But I think the ants weren't helping. The ants plus the dryness was just too much for that small tree. So we'll see if it survives. Woodlot looks nice. So I've had Adrian do use the whipper snipper and clean things up. So he didn't have a job till this week. So kept him busy working with me in the woodyard a little bit. So he was in charge of cleaning things up, so it looks a lot nicer. I'll talk about that tomorrow when I do my live video for the woodyard. So I think that's about it. Like I said, we haven't spent much time. Well, I should say I haven't spent much time working in the yard. I know next week we'll have to mow the lawn again. Look at the meat chickens all sitting there. So I haven't spent much time in the woodyard because I've been I haven't spent much time working in the yard because I've been working in the woodyard. So I'm just looking at my notes here. Yeah, that's about all I wanted to talk about today. We're still under a fire ban, which it's been a long time. So we're, I think, July 7th or 8th today, and we've been under a fire ban since the start of June. So June 1st was the last day. that we could have a fire. So it's a bit of a bummer, because for me summer is all about having fires, and unfortunately this year it doesn't look like we'll have, looking at the weather for 2 weeks down, it doesn't look like we're going to get enough rain to get out of that fire ban. So right here, this is another little garden that Louise is taking care of. I kind of built it up last spring with debris from the wood yard. So anyways, I'm looking at my lawn here, and I'm thinking we're gonna have to start lawn mowing again pretty soon, which takes a lot of time. So anyways, it'll be this week. So I guess I'm gonna sign off at this point. It's a slow start for me this morning, but I wanted to get this video done because it should have been done yesterday. So my apologies to those that do follow, and hopefully next week I'll be more on the ball. I see Louise's cousin is watching. Hey Din, hope you're having a great summer. So I'm gonna sign off with this view here, one of my favorite views. You can see I haven't taken down the slide yet. That's another job I haven't done. So many things to do. That's what summer's all about. Have a great weekend, everybody. Ciao.